What's up, Run 50 States My Way? It's Ashley, and Ryan and I are back from Utah. Obviously, you guys know that if you've been watching our channel. We hope that you check out our other Utah Runcation videos. This one, unfortunately, is the last one of our series, and it's all about all the different things to do in the Moab area. The first thing that we did outside of the national parks was after our Devil's Garden hike, which was to check out the Colorado River and take an amazing adventure tour, which was for 2 hours using the Moab Jet Boat company. Oh my gosh, so much fun. You go 360 turns, you dive like nose first under the water, you go super duper fast, you get a chance to see the Colorado on the water, really appreciate the mountains and the different rock structures. You learn a little bit more about the Moab area. It was just an amazing time.
It slowly builds this, it's almost the best way to explain it, it's a really thin ceramic coating on the outside of the rock. It kind of reflects in the sun, and they figured it takes about 150 years for that stuff to start showing some color, and that's dependent on several factors, but roughly about 150 years. So the way you can tell recent rock falls and that sort of thing are by places that don't have that desert varnish on it. You can see this big corner piece right up here. Yeah. Look at all the rock. It's all nice and bright pink underneath it. Yeah. See, someone made it all the way down to the road. They had to blast it out of the road.
So the black is the what varnish?
Yeah, desert varnish.
Desert varnish.
Yeah. See a big slab fell out right there?
Wow.
All this nice light rock. Yeah. And then the most recent one, if you go look directly upriver, that tallest point, you go down to the right, you see a thin light strip. That happened last July. About a half hour after we went by in the boat.
Oh wow.
And it put a lot of rock out in the river. We'll be right underneath it here in just a second. How you doing, Hunter? Fine day to be on the river. Find the kayak now.
This next collection of pictures is the Petroglyphs and some of the things to see on Potash Road, which is a great location to explore if the park is full, the national park, Arches, is full, or you just want something outside of the national parks. One of the other things on Potash Road that we were gonna do, but we decided not to do because we were just wiped at that point, was Corona Arch. I hear it's amazing. I've seen tons and tons and tons of videos on YouTube of people hiking to Corona Arch. It's a 3-mile round trip hike. It looked great. We were just done at that point, so we opted to just see the petroglyphs and dinosaur tracks and kind of explore the Potash Road area that way, which again is really great for those who have mobility issues, or maybe you have small kids, or like I said, if the national park is at capacity, it's a way to kill some time while you're waiting for the national park to open back up. So check out Potash Road, check out the petroglyphs and the dinosaur tracks, and here are some of those pictures. Another thing to check out in the Moab area is the downtown area, which I highly recommend. It has a ton of cute little gift shops and just amazing things to see. A lot of different local arts and crafts type things, a lot of really great restaurants. A couple of our favorite restaurants were the Jailhouse Cafe, which we got an epic breakfast scramble, and not pictured is a really amazing, if you've ever been to IKEA, it's kind of like their pancake. So it was a Swedish pancake with lingonberry sauce. Oh my gosh, so good. They had great coffee, great service, and they specialize in breakfast. So that's all, they're only open for breakfast. Totally great vibe and great meal. Another place that we checked out was Quesadilla Mobila. Oh my gosh, they are the best food truck. They're actually the food truck that created the food truck park in Moab. My recommendation is to make sure you go early because they do sell out. The one day that we wanted to go to Quesadilla Mobila, they actually sold out. So we had to go the next day, which was really sad, but it was worth the wait. The really great food truck that we did go to when Quesadilla Mobila was closed after our hot adventure down in Monument Valley, I'll put a link to that video right here above, was to get a snow cone, which was just epic and delicious. It was the true Hawaiian shaved ice, not like a true snow cone. Totally delicious. We also checked out the Moab Brewery. Sorry, no pictures, but I highly recommend that location. Great food, great service, really good beer. We also went to Antica Forma, had amazing wood-fired pizza. I got the sausage and pesto, and oh my gosh, I ate the whole thing. Well, I ate all but 2 slices. We did save 2 slices of each pizza for the next day to have as a breakfast lunch type thing, which was delicious. We threw it on the grill at our campsite and it came out perfect. So Antica Forma, amazing location. Got to check them out. And then we also went to the Moab Garage Company for a really great breakfast. Ryan got a breakfast burrito. I tried the huevos rancheros, got an amazing coffee, and then we got some donuts, a cronut for me and a chocolate donut for Ryan for our airplane ride home. We threw them in a baggie and they lasted, which was just perfect because we still, we left and we weren't leaving on the airplane until the next day. So they totally stayed fresh and were just delicious. But yeah, you got to check out downtown Moab, got to check out the food and all the great places. However, I do recommend when you are dining in the Moab area to pay attention to hours of operation, because some of the places that we wanted to go to, we didn't realize were closed on Monday and Tuesday. We really wanted to go to this really good Thai restaurant that we heard a whole bunch about, but the day that we wanted to go to it, it was closed. So just be aware that some of the Moab restaurants had really bizarre hours of operation and they were closed on like Mondays and Tuesdays. So be aware, but definitely check out some of the great food locations in the downtown Moab area as well as some of the shops.
not all things are inside national parks when you come to Moab. As you can see from the parking lot at 3:30 in the afternoon, there are others who are about to, that we're going to run into at a waterfall and creek that is a runoff from the LaSalle Mountains called Mill Creek Falls. It is a Bureau of Land Management park, and it's 95 degrees. So we're about to cool off a little bit in some nice water after a little bit of a hike to get there. Way cool way to spend the last day in Moab. I've already done one water crossing. And this trail is a little bit more to it than I thought it would, but you cannot beat this view. It's like a garden oasis. Prickly pear cactus. Absolutely beautiful.
Boring.
So when we first got here, the people in our neighboring teepee had done this trail, and they said that the hot part was going through a field. I think we've made it to that hot part, which is right here, right by the mountain. In case you can't hear, we are slouching through the creek. And it feels really good. We are on the approach. I've always wanted to do the Narrows at Zion. This is my prep to do the Narrows. Because this is essentially what the Narrows is, only bigger. Nothing like a little practice. And we have made it. Like I said, we would find the people, and here they are. Everybody else is keeping cool on a hot Moab day at Mill Creek Waterfall. And here it is. We've made it to a desert oasis. Absolutely beautiful. Loving it. We are on our way back to Salt Lake City from Moab, going through the mountains. And two things have happened yesterday and today. It's really dry in Utah right now, and last night in the LaSalle Mountains there was a wildfire. I don't have any video footage of it, but when I asked this morning, there were a couple houses damaged, and we actually, on our astronomy tour last night, sorry no footage because it was too dark, and I haven't quite figured out how to use the Osmo Action in nighttime. Couldn't even get stills of the night sky. It was just so beautiful. but you could see the fire from where we were for our astronomy tour, and it was blazing. So to all of those impacted, we're hoping and praying for you. This is why, you know, Smokey the Bear, prevent forest fires, pay attention to what you're doing. When you're camping, make sure you're not building too big of a fire. When you're smoking, please don't throw down a cigarette butt. But also, it could have just been a lightning storm that happened. There's any number of causes that can cause a wildfire. But as we're driving back to Salt Lake City from Moab, the mountain range that we're driving through right now, which is absolutely beautiful. This is one of the things that I love about Utah, is that the terrain is constantly changing and it's really unique. But we're on a detour because this mountain range, there is a wildfire currently. And if some of the pictures that I've taken come out, then I will put some of those into this video as well. But a couple things to note when you are driving in Utah is cell reception is spotty. So if you're reliant on navigation systems or things like that, make sure you always have a map as a backup. We brought our GPS from home because we didn't know how reliable our cell phones were going to be because of cell service. Radio stations are not existent. When we're driving, we're getting maybe 1 or 2 radio stations coming through because there's just no service. You're in the middle of nowhere. Another thing to note is that bathrooms and gas stations are few and far between, especially on this drive. So when you do see a gas station or when you do see a rest stop, if you think you have to stop, stop. I would not recommend driving down to Monument Valley like we did a couple days ago, driving from Salt Lake City down to the Moab area with anything less than half a tank of gas. Really, really important to kind of pay attention to those things. So, but overall, I mean, absolutely amazing drive. I'm not somebody who typically likes to drive. And when I found out it's a 4.5 hour drive from Moab to Salt Lake City, the 2.5 hour drive that we took to go down to Monument Valley, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're doing so much driving in the state. But I really do have to give it to Utah. This is a state to drive in because the landscape is constantly changing. There's our GPS. There's our GPS telling us where to go. But one more view of this little road through the mountains here. And again, I will post some video or some pictures that I've taken just of the changing terrain and just how beautiful and majestic Utah is. I know I keep saying that, but just absolutely breathtaking. So we're on our way to Salt Lake City. Hopefully we're gonna get to see the Great Salt Lake Marina and then check in before our flight back to Ohio tomorrow. So we're on a more primitive road at this point, but you can really see how smoky the mountain area is. So we're running on a parallel road. Like I said, definitely much more primitive to detour around it because the road that we would have taken would have pretty much taken us right through the fire area to get from Moab to Salt Lake City. So again, make sure you have gas, make sure you have water, and folks out there, please be conscious and mindful of forest fires. We talked to a lot of people, and one of the things that they were really worried about is how dry it is here in Utah right now. And knowing that the last 2 days of our trip, we've now seen 2 pretty intense forest fires. It's just really sad and something to always be mindful and conscious of. So you can see more traffic is being diverted both directions. This little road is quite busy right now, and you can see all of the different smoke plumes. So this fire is definitely in more than one place. So for those workers who are working to man the fire, please be careful. And we're going to continue on our fun little detour to Salt Lake City and hope that we get out of this area pretty quickly. But yeah, here's a big plume right here, which is pretty intense. We're back on Highway 6. There. And there. Is the fire.
So there you have it, Run 50 States My Way. This concludes our epic runcation in Utah. We hope that you liked some of our videos. We hope that you'll watch some of our videos, and most importantly, we hope that you subscribe because there is so much more content coming. I'm gonna talk about some of the previous trips that we've taken, and then we have trips coming up as well. So remember, it's all about the adventure. It's all about the run. It's all about the things that you see along the way, experiencing each state for all that it has to offer, 1 mile at a time. With that, this is Ashley saying once again, we hope that you'll subscribe, give us a thumbs up, comment down below about some of the things that you like to do in Utah or some of the things that you liked watching in our videos, and come with us on our journey, one state at a time. And this is Ashley signing off.